Singles prices are going down, sealed is going to zero. Don't worry, don't panic, let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Rax here and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to talk about how a lot of cards and a lot of sealed product is going down, but you should not worry about it. Look, I'm going to be frank with you, summer's coming by. Pokemon tends to be pretty slow when it comes to summertime, and this happens in all types of markets, the bull markets, bear markets, but it always tends to be kind of slow for Pokemon. A lot of cards tend to retrace back from their all-time highs. A lot of sealed product, especially if it's modern, tends to kind of slow down when it comes to increases or even go down in value. However, if you take a step back, you tend to realize that this is only happening to the most modern cards, the most popular cards right now in the era. Yes, Umbreon is going down, Charizard is going down, Pikachu is going down. However, if you take a look at the sealed collections when it comes to sealed product, you'll tend to realize that a lot of things are still going up. If you take a look at Evolving Skies, a lot of people were panicking how it reached to 1400 and then it started going down to 1200. But as we can see here, there's a small little uptick and it's already going up and it's already at $1,500 to $1,400 a box again. I thought everything was going down, the whole market is going to zero. That usually only tends to happen to cards, guys. Look, sealed tends to go down around like 10-20% in like a lot of bear markets. However, when it comes to cards, they do go down tremendously. We saw Pikachu SAR going from $440 card down to already underneath $280 in a raw copy. PSA 10 was around $1,000. Around the first month of release, it was around $2,000, then $1,000. Now it's already below $800 in a PSA 10. We've seen Bubble Mews and Charizards from 151 going down. A lot of cards, a lot of illustration rares going down. I'm not gonna lie, the graph is pretty scary. It looks pretty scary. I wouldn't blame you if you saw all the Scarlet and Violet cards and saw, oh my god, everything's going down or everything's going to go to zero. But if you take a little step back, you'll tend to realize that not every card is going down. A lot of cards that are really popular right now, yes, are going down. However, if you look at X and Y era, Sun and Moon era, a lot of those cards are still going up. If you haven't seen the Mega Rayquaza EX from Ancient Origins, just sold recently for over $4,000 in a PSA 10. Meanwhile, I have a screenshot right here that I was looking at this card about a year and a half ago. It was a $700 card in a PSA 10. It went from $700 to $4,000 in less than 2 years. That is insane. Everyone wants to talk about how the cards are going from $1,000 to $800, from $600 to $400. Look, but no one wants to talk about how a lot of these cards were sub $300 and now they're $800 and now they're taking a little bit of a step back. But no one wants to talk about how it already has gone 100% gain and now they're dropping 10%. But no one wants to talk about that 90% increase. A lot of people tend to only focus on what's going on now. This happens with a lot of things. A lot of people tend to sell as soon as they see a little downtick on all their cards. I personally, I'm gonna be honest, I am selling the Pikachu SAR because I do think it will be a little bit cheaper during the summer. However, I'm not selling any other card besides that. I'm not selling my Bubble Mews. I'm not selling my Latias. I'm not selling my Latios. I'm not selling my Giratina, Rayquaza. I'm not selling any other cards. One, because I did not get them at their all-time highs, and I think that they still have a lot of room to grow. And since they were already very popular in the past, I do think we will see higher highs right when the 30th anniversary comes. And it's only natural that a lot of things tend to go down after they've seen very high highs. You know, I do think that a lot of these cards will be a lot higher than what they are right now in a couple months time. Right after summer, things do tend to pick up pretty quickly around November, December time, and then again for February of next year where the 30th anniversary comes. That's when I think we will see the highest highs. That is my prediction. After that, I do see some sort of a slowdown period. However, when it comes to my sealed investments, I have been selling a couple things, only some small stuff though, some kind of miscellaneous bulk. However, when it comes to any booster boxes, ETBs, Pokemon Center ETBs, I haven't sold a single thing because I do think that we still have a lot of room to grow on those. A lot of people need to realize that it's more of a long-term thing. You know, a lot of people need to ask themselves, are you holding this card because you like it, or do you think because it's going up or going down? Another example is Fusion Strike booster boxes. Look, guys, it's been selling for over $550 already. It's officially above $500 booster box. Oh, but everything is crashing, everything's going to zero. No, it's not, guys. It's just mainly the most modern cards in the most recent eras that are going down. But if we take a second and look at the sealed investments, the sealed boxes, everything keeps going up. Since Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike are going up in price, it 100% means that the next boxes will follow through. I do think that a lot of these cards will continue to go down during the midst of summer. Then they'll start to pick up again around September and November time. Cards tend to fluctuate a lot. They tend to go up, go down, go up, go down. But the older the boxes get, the more they'll appreciate in value. That's why 80% of my position is in sealed collections. It's really cool how things get rarer over time. But however, when it comes to cards, they get less rare over time. You know, there's more in the market, the more sealed gets open. So what should you do now? Look guys, I genuinely think that a lot of these cards will continue to go down for around the midst of summer, but as I said before, they will go back up. I do think that we will have another spike, another boom later in the year after summer, and then again in the February anniversary, and then it's going to be a rinse and repeat after that. Things are going to go down, things are going to go up, things are going to go down. So it tends to be kind of a never-ending cycle when it comes to these cards. But always remember that there's always going to be cooler cards coming out. If you think that this is the best Bubble Mew we'll ever get, or the best Mew we'll ever get, or the best Charizard we'll ever get, that's not true. We will continue to keep getting better cards over and over again, but they just might take a little time. Always remember that these cards are really expensive now due to them being the flavor of the week. You know, a lot of people love them, but we don't know how well they will do over time. I do believe that outliers like the Bubble Mew, the Giratina, the Rayquaza, the Umbreon, they will be staples in the community forever. I do think that they're just so unbelievably popular, so unbelievably loved by the community that no matter what time, bear market, bull market, they will be very sought after, and they will have some sort of a premium or some sort of a hefty price point. I don't think they will ever get to their lowest lows ever again. I don't think we'll ever see a PSA 10 Bubble Mew at $200 or an Umbreon VMAX at $800. I don't think we'll ever see that ever again. But could they get cheaper? Yes. But will they go up? Definitely 100% as well. But when it comes to sealed stuff, I do think that they will continue to go up slowly but surely over time, especially if they're old. However, when it comes to reprints, I do think if the set is less than 2 years old, we could see a bit of a pullback when it comes to all these sets. However, if it does cross that 2-year mark like Crown Zenith, and in a couple months 151, I do think that a lot of those sets, especially the sealed stuff, will just continue to skyrocket just like Crown Zenith. So no need to panic. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.